We've discussed this Economic Policy Institute chart in the past. This is productivity versus hourly compensation for your average worker. So let's take a look here. Around 1980, there begins to be a divergence, and productivity continues to rise dramatically while hourly compensation basically flatlines. It stagnates. Now, some of that is due to automation. Some of it is not due to automation. A lot of it's due to the rigged system and money in politics and corporations and billionaires rigging the game in their favor and screwing over your average worker and giving themselves tax loopholes and subsidies and shifting a tax burden onto the middle class and wages being held down and all that stuff. So that's a problem when you're working really hard and you're not seeing the fruits of your labor. That's what happened from 1980 and onward, even to this day in the United States of America. Now, we've gone through that before. Well, now we have a new chart that I want to show you. This is the distribution of economic growth in the United States. And so you can see here, for the bottom 90% of Americans, you've had 1.5% growth from 1980 or less. Or less. So that is, for the rate of growth for the rich far surpasses that, as you could see. You know, when you get to the top 10%, and specifically really the top 1%, you see how their average annual growth, you're getting into 3%, 4%, 5%, 6% for them. 6% for the top 0.001%. But for your average person, you're looking at 1.5% growth or less. So in other words, what this chart demonstrates is the income gains are almost all, or I should say mostly, going to the top 10%, but really specifically the top 1% are the ones who are getting away with murder here, taking all the gains for themselves, and running out the back door. So, yeah, the whole 99% versus 1% dichotomy, I think people bring it up because it's true. Because it's true that, you know, the game is rigged by the 1% against the 99%, and they bought the government, and they craft policy in their favor, and they block any policy that would help regular people and would change this. So, you know what would change this? A better tax system that isn't rigged in favor of the rich, where you raise corporate taxes, you raise taxes on the rich, you shift the burden off the middle class. That would help this. Strong unions would help this. A living wage would help this. Universal health care, free college would help this. Ending the wars, reinvesting that money here, doing a giant jobs bill as part of an infrastructure bill, that would help this. But no, we don't get any of those things because those things would help regular people. Instead, the game is rigged against the 99% in favor of the 1%, and the charts prove it.